Okay, so we're going to focus now on Ireland joining the EEC. So the Irish negotiating team, obviously made up of Lynch as Taoiseach, but Patrick Hillery was the Minister for Foreign Affairs. There were six main negotiators in the team, and they operated outside of the Oireachtas, so they operated outside of the government. Um, the main areas for discussion were economy, security, agriculture, and neutrality, which is very important, fishing, trade, and finance. So the negotiating team had members from key government departments like finance, agriculture, and so on, but also there was areas of involvement from business, the SRI, and so on. So there was a lot of important input from different areas. So I just had to look there. Who do you think was for it? We have Fianna Fáil, Fine Gael, and the farmers' organisations. So Fianna Fáil had been pro-Europe since Lamass began the process in 1963, lifting the green curtain, developing Ireland's economy, developing Ireland's reputation as a trading economy, developing export opportunities. So Fianna Fáil had been pro-Europe since Lamass opened up the Irish economy, opened up free trade, removed protectionism, etc., all that good stuff, from the first programme of economic expansion. Fine Gael also believed that there could be strong economic advantages, and they, of course, wanted Fianna Fáil's economic success to continue, and they believed, as Fianna Fáil did, that it could only continue in a positive way if Ireland was launched onto the European stage properly by being part of the EEC and having the benefits of all the tariffs and support and structures that would, and grants, of course, and funding as well, that would come from being part of the EEC. Lifting my favourite line, the green curtain, of course. So the farmers' organisations were actually for it. I know it's highly unusual for the farmers to be for anything, but they were for the joining the EEC because of the Common Agricultural Policy. So because of CAP and all the benefits that supported it. So the Labour Party was actually against it. They believed that there will be a loss of jobs in traditional industries. This is a very backward view. So should they not have been modernising under the first programme of economic expansion? Lamass called on industries to innovate, develop, modernise, and there were grants available for that. So the Labour Party argument was backward and behind the times, and was not in keeping with the developments the government were trying to push towards. Some believed that the EEC headquarters in Brussels would have too much say in Irish affairs, again, so that idea surrounding, especially around neutrality in terms of war, but also around the ability of the Irish government to manage Irish affairs. So are we looking at a dropping of the green curtain here again? So that conservatism creeping back in. So Ireland joined the EEC in January 1973. There was a landslide victory for the accession referendum. As you can see there, 80% of the electorate voted to join. We talk a little bit about this in the fisheries as well, videos, and how I suppose the impact that it had on the fisheries had a very limited impact on how the electorate voted. Ireland benefited from CAP straight away, larger markets, better prices. Even despite the oil crisis that, remember about the Arab-Israeli war and the oil crisis that followed, and the subsequent decline in industry. So even despite all of that, agriculture still prospered because they were benefiting from these larger markets and these better prices that CAP provided. So by 1978, farmer incomes had doubled those of 1970. So they are huge gains, but short term. The government isn't planning long term enough, and we're going to see that there's going to be a major impact for that later on.